In any crisis, knowledge is your first line of defense, and this knowledge begins with understanding the risks that are most relevant to you, based on where you live. Each geographical area has its own set of potential threats, some more obvious than others. If you live in a coastal region, hurricanes might be a regular concern. In the heartland, you might face tornadoes or blizzards. Urban areas can experience power outages, and periods of civil unrest might occur anywhere. The point is, you need to identify the specific threats that are common to your geographical area. This is not about instilling fear, but rather about fostering awareness. The more aware you are, the better you can prepare and the safer you will be. Once you've identified the possible threats, the next step is to keep yourself informed. In the digital age, this is easier than ever. Check your local news regularly and make use of emergency services that provide real-time updates. These could be anything from weather alerts to community warnings, but be mindful of your sources. In a world where misinformation can spread like wildfire, it's crucial to rely on trustworthy, reliable sources. Local government websites, established news outlets, and official weather services are typically your best bet. Remember, the goal here is not just to react to emergencies as they happen, but to be proactive. By staying informed, you can often get a head start on preparations, making it easier to secure your home, gather supplies, and keep your family safe. In a crisis, every second counts. By understanding your risks and staying informed, you can buy yourself precious time and significantly improve your chances of weathering the storm, whatever form it might take. Identifying your risks is the first step to effective preparation. With this knowledge in hand, you're already on your way to becoming better prepared for whatever challenges may come your way. Preparation means having the right supplies before you need them. Now that you've understood the risks, let's delve into the second key aspect of preparing for a crisis: stocking up on essential supplies. And no, we're not talking about hoarding toilet paper. We're talking about the basic necessities that will help you survive and stay comfortable, whether you're facing a power outage, a blizzard, or a hurricane. First up is water. The average person needs about a gallon of water per day for drinking and hygiene. So for a household of 4, that's 4 gallons a day. You'll want to have enough to last you 2 weeks, which comes out to about 56 gallons of water. Next, let's talk about food. You'll want to stockpile non-perishable items that are easy to prepare. Think canned goods, dry mixes, and other staples that do not require refrigeration. Remember, these should be foods that your family will actually eat. There's no point in filling your pantry with canned spinach if no one in your household likes it. Then we have our cooking source. In a power outage, your electric stove isn't going to be much help. So, it's a good idea to have an alternative cooking method handy. This could be a barbecue grill, a gas griddle, or a camping stove. Just make sure you also have enough fuel to operate it. Medications are another critical supply. If you or a family member rely on prescription drugs, make sure you have a sufficient supply on hand. The same goes for over-the-counter medicines like pain relievers, antacids, and cold medicines. Lastly, don't forget about warm clothing, especially if you're in a cold climate. Having extra blankets, sweaters, and thermal underwear can make a big difference when the heat is out. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list, but it's a good starting point. Tailor this list to your family's specific needs, and remember to double it. This way, even if something unexpected happens, you'll have supplies to last a few extra days. When the crisis hits, you'll be glad you have these essentials on hand. Your home is your fortress. Let's make sure it's a safe one. One of the first things to consider in securing your home is the exterior. Make sure that windows are sealed against storms, doors have sturdy locks, and any potential hazards like loose tree branches are mitigated. Remember, a sturdy home is less likely to suffer damage during a disaster and can provide a safer shelter. Now, you might be thinking about turning your home into a fortress with high walls and barbed wire. But remember, we're not preparing for a zombie apocalypse. Instead, we need to strike a balance between security and visibility. You don't want to make your home look vacant, but you also don't want to be the only house glowing with lights during a power outage. Here's a practical tip. Use heavy curtains at night and sheer curtains during the day. This way, your house isn't pitch black, but it's still difficult to see inside. This not only maintains your privacy, but also makes it less likely for your home to attract unwanted attention during a crisis. Let's talk about entrances. Make sure all entrances, including windows, are secured. This doesn't mean you need to install bulletproof glass or steel doors. Simple measures like deadbolt locks on doors and window lock latches can significantly boost your home's security. And remember, the goal is to deter potential threats, not to create an impenetrable fortress. And don't forget about your garage. If it's attached to your house, it's essentially another entrance that needs to be secured. Keep it locked and ensure the door leading into your home from the garage is as secure as your front door. Lastly, consider investing in a security system. Today's market offers a variety of affordable options that can provide an extra layer of protection for your home. From motion sensors to security cameras, these systems can give you peace of mind during uncertain times. A secure home is a safer home during any crisis. When utilities fail, you need a backup plan. It's essential to understand how to manage without the usual comforts of electricity, running water, and gas. In crisis situations, these services can be interrupted, leaving us to rely on our resourcefulness and preparedness. Let's start with conserving what resources you have. It's all about being smart with what's available. For instance, if power's out, keep fridge and freezer doors closed as much as possible to maintain the cold temperature. Use perishable food from the refrigerator first, then from the freezer. As for water, fill up bathtubs, sinks, and large containers before a predicted outage, ensuring you have a supply for drinking, cooking, and hygiene. Now, let's talk about alternative energy sources. Battery backups are a practical solution for keeping vital devices powered up. They can keep your cell phones charged, your flashlights working, and even power small appliances. Remember, though, that batteries eventually run out, so have a plan to recharge them. Enter solar power. Portable solar panels paired with a battery bank can be a game changer. During the day, the panels soak up sunlight, storing energy in the battery bank. At night, you can use this stored power to keep your devices running, but what about heat and light? Generators are a great option, but they require fuel, and that might not be readily available in a crisis. Candles can provide light and a small amount of heat, but they come with a fire risk, so always handle them with care and never leave them unattended. Wind-up flashlights and radios are also a good idea. They require no batteries, just a bit of elbow grease to keep them going. Hand-cranked devices are a reliable, renewable source of power and information. With the right energy solutions, you won't be left in the dark. Remember, the key is to conserve, prepare, and adapt. By doing so, you'll be able to weather any storm and stay safe and comfortable even when the lights go out. In a crisis, staying connected can make all the difference. Communication is a lifeline that binds us to the world outside, keeps us updated, and ensures that we're not alone. But during emergencies, it's not unusual for regular communication channels to falter. That's why it's crucial to have a solid communication plan in place. Let's start by understanding the importance of communication in a crisis. When disaster strikes, it's essential to know what's going on around you. Is there an evacuation order? What's the safest route to take? Is help on the way? These questions can only be answered when you're connected to reliable sources of information. Besides, maintaining contact with family and friends can provide emotional support during trying times. But how do you ensure you stay connected when the power's out and the cell network is down? The answer lies in diversifying your communication tools. Cell phones are our go-to communication devices, but in a crisis, they're only as good as the network they're connected to and the battery life they have. So, always keep your phones charged and have power banks or solar chargers handy. If possible, get a car charger as well. Then there's the good old radio. A battery-operated or hand-cranked radio can be your window to the world when all else fails. It can receive weather updates, emergency broadcasts, and other vital information. So it's a good idea to have one in your home, along with extra batteries. Another tool that's often overlooked is the whistle. It's simple, needs no power, and can be heard over long distances. A whistle can be a lifesaver when you need to signal for help. And finally, let's not forget about face-to-face communication. Establish a plan with your household members. Discuss what to do, where to meet, and how to signal each other in case you're separated or the noise levels are high. Remember, communication isn't just about talking, it's also about listening, so listen to authorities, heed their advice, and stay safe. When you have a solid communication plan, you stay informed and connected. In any crisis, your safety is the top priority. It all comes down to how you navigate the situation, which is why it's crucial to have a clear understanding of general safety protocols. These protocols can be your lifeline, helping you stay safe as you ride out the storm. Firstly, the golden rule is to stay indoors unless absolutely necessary. Unnecessary travel can put you at risk, especially during periods of severe weather or civil unrest. If you must leave your home, ensure you have a plan and know the safest routes in and out of your area. Now, let's talk about power losses. Losing power can be disorienting, but remember, you've prepared for this. Your battery backups, solar chargers, and generators are there to maintain essential functions. Use them wisely and sparingly to conserve power. If you're using candles for light, remember to never leave them unattended to avoid accidental fires. Hygiene is another aspect you can't overlook, even in a crisis. With limited resources, maintaining cleanliness might seem challenging, but it's not impossible. Basic hygiene practices like washing hands, sanitizing surfaces, and proper waste disposal can prevent the spread of diseases. If running water becomes scarce, you can use alternatives like hand sanitizers or wet wipes. Finally, the post-event scenario. Once the immediate crisis has passed, it's important to stay vigilant. Be aware of any potential hazards in your surroundings, like fallen power lines or broken glass. Listen to the news and follow the advice of local authorities to ensure it's safe before venturing outside. Remember, safety isn't a one-time action, but a habit. It's about making smart choices and staying calm, even when things seem out of control. By following these safety steps, you can navigate any crisis with confidence.